Hey everyone, welcome back to Mojo Homestead. I'm Cass.
I'm Jeremy.
And we have some fun stuff planned for this week for our video. But before we get into that, we're going to do highs and lows. I'm super excited about my high. So a friend of mine made us t-shirts. So we have like homestead t-shirts. Oh my goodness, it like is for real now.
We're officially homesteading dorks.
We were homesteading dorks a long time ago. Now it's just
now there's no hiding
now
it.
It's advertised. Oh my. Our dogs are playing. So she also got me this cute little wooden sign. I don't know where it's going to go yet, but I'm excited to find a great place for it. My low was honestly probably like the fact that we did our last dance competition. It's hard because we go to town and we don't get homesteading stuff done, but I love seeing the girls dance and, you know, just the excitement of it is fun. So usually it's a little more spread out, and this time it was very back to back. So it just felt like it went really fast, but
no, it didn't. That might be my high. It's just, I mean, it's tough when you're by yourself and you're like getting into like where you really got to start getting like garden stuff ready and everything else and just not having the time to do that. But yeah, I jokingly say that's my high. That's not really my high. I was really excited about a project I did at work this week. It went really smoothly, like everything about it, which, I mean, that does happen, but when everything goes smoothly, that's like not as common. And there were some leftover supplies, which is always good because it means that, hey, now I got a project here.
Yeah.
So we'll see. My other high hasn't quite happened yet. It's our date tonight. I'm looking forward to that. My low is we separated all our baby bucks out, and they're just getting really close to like sexually mature age. So we put them in with a cow, which is great. It does make it easier. They're a little bit more like rambunctious to make it a little bit more difficult when we're going in and out of the goat pen for stuff. But whenever you break a goat's routine, it takes them a couple of days to adjust. And the first night was very loud. And just, I mean, I got sleep, but it was very like just constantly waking up because you're like, oh my gosh, is something like attacking the goats, or are they just upset because they got moved, or what? And they were going back and forth because we split the herd up. And so the ones that stayed in there were also kind of
because they were the females and they can't be with their brothers anymore.
Yeah, and the bigger adult goats, you know, the kind of the matriarchs of the herd were like, hey, our herd is like in distress or whatever. So they're good. You know, it takes, like I said, a couple days. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. Yeah.
A couple of teasers. Wanted to kind of introduce a little bit of what we want to do for a midweek video. I don't think it's any surprise of just what they are predicting the food industry to do and going up on price and stuff like that because of fertilizer shortages and just spikes in prices and stuff like that. So we wanted to address that, but we're going to save it for our midweek video and really talk about the ways that we're going to combat that. Yeah. The other thing with that we will be talking about today is growing your own food. Yes. Like, if you're not doing it yet, there's no better time to start. Right. And this is not meant to be like fear-driven or anything like that. It's just the reality. Like, I don't think anybody's denying it.
At this point, wisdom would say grow something. Even if you can't grow a lot, you can still help supplement your grocery bill by growing something.
And it doesn't even have to be large scale.
No.
And if you're already growing something, then now's probably the time to think about expanding. Yeah. If you can. Yeah. And if you have the time and energy and resources and space and all of that stuff. So, which is what we're doing today. Super exciting. We did start this process in an earlier video, which I will link, where we started kind of clearing out the area and talking about it. And now, today, we're like going full force in prepping mode, prepping the garden mode.
I'm just hoping to be able to start and get it enclosed because I feel like it's been on the list for a while.
It has. The dance competitions.
Listen. But April 1st is our frost date, our last frost date, and that is very quickly approaching.
It is.
So this garden is like, it has to get done.
Which spring officially starts this weekend.
Yes.
So what better time to start this?
There we go.
So.
And finish it.
Yes. Other teaser is we do have a layout officially for this new garden area, and I'm super excited about it. But you've got to wait till the end of the video to see that. We will show it to you. It is not your traditional garden. That's all I'm going to say.
It's going to be great.
It is. It's going to be beautiful. Let's go ahead and get started.
So we planted onions in these raised beds before we planned on moving the raised beds. So we're going to attempt to save them. It's not a super huge deal. If we can't save them, we have some in our garden. These were just ones that wouldn't fit in that space. So what we are going to do is we are going to take some of them and put them in an extra bag of soil that we had, and then put others in our herb garden. There is a chance from the research I've done that they will bolt after transplanting them, but my thought is they're still kind of small. They're like seed plants still. So I really don't think they'll bolt, but we'll let you know how they do. They aren't super huge yet. We'll see. It's worth a shot.
Okay, so I had to take a break and show this. I just think this is really cool. We always talk about how putting topsoil or good soil on the top works its way down and everything. But I just took the side off of this and you can really kind of see it in action, which is kind of cool. So we just used kind of this was supposed to be topsoil, but it was a really bad topsoil that we ended up getting. And then we started using just kind of a mix of what we had left over in pots, like potting soil, but also our compost that we put on top. But you can kind of see where, through the wormholes, where it's kind of worked its way down into the rest of the soil. So again, just thought that was really cool.
So the next thing that I have to do is dig out these concrete posts back here. So we're gonna see if I can get those things out, and that'll be the first step in reestablishing the fence line for this expansion.
Okay, so for your entertainment, I'm putting this on time lapse so you can watch me struggle to get these two things out. Alright, so thankfully the concrete did not stick to the posts, so they were way easier to get out than I thought, so that's very good. Now we're just going to figure out the positioning of those, get them in, and hopefully get the fencing up today. That is our goal, so we'll see if we can get that done.
So it is the next day, and we did end up getting the fence up before we had to call it quits yesterday for our date, which was so much fun. I'm gonna take you on a little quick tour to show you kind of like how we've expanded it, and hopefully you'll get an idea. I know this stuff is really hard to see on a video, but we're gonna try to do it the best we can. So the new gate is right here. This is where we moved the posts that we dug up yesterday. Let me show you where it originally was, and then we'll go from there. So originally we had our bean tunnel right here where I'm walking, and it led up to the gate, which was right here where this arch is. And then the rest of our garden was back there. So we just had kind of a big square lot back there for the garden, and that was it. So what we have done is taken down the fence that was right here along this side, and then all the way down the posts that are over here, and we fenced it off up there. It basically now ties into the corner of the goat pen, and so the blueberries are now incorporated into the fenced in part of the garden. And we do have weed cloth down all around those blueberries to help prevent or minimize anyway the spreading
through those roots that blueberries tend to do, so that they don't get into the garden. At least not easy anyway. And so then the goat fence, which is now behind me, is the border for that side. We will need to put up some type of like rabbit fencing or something like that along the bottom, because rabbits could come through and get into the garden. That's really the main wildlife we're trying to keep out. The dogs do a good job of keeping the deer away, so we don't really have to worry about fencing to keep them out of the garden. It's just the rabbits. So it now goes all the way down to the milk house and ties in down there. So we have just gained all of this area, which I bet like the new area is probably about half the size of what we currently had in the garden space. So we're gaining a good bit of garden space. The other thing that I really like about this is that it now encloses our herb garden. So the herb garden is behind me, and it kind of goes up next to the milk house. That was all open. We never really had issues with anything getting in there. The problem was that the dogs would run through it when they wanted to go like sniff the goats or tell them hello. And I mean, I just kind of like always, you know, our dogs running through our food and stuff like that. Wasn't a big fan of that. So now it's enclosed and will be included in the garden.
Okay, so now we are going to start building our raised beds. I am super excited about these. When we first started talking about them, I had said that I wanted 5. And of course I'm getting 5. So I'm super excited. I love raised beds because I love the concept of square foot gardening. It's what we did when we had our patio home, and I feel like it's super beneficial for any gardener. I feel like you can use them for large and small spaces. I'm so excited about square foot gardening and bringing you guys along for that, because it's literally something you can implement no matter what size garden space you have. And I think it's beneficial because, as we said before, you can really do companion planting, and kind of my goal is to kind of master that in those smaller spaces and then try to implement it in our in-ground garden. So in our new garden layout, we're actually going to have angled rows. So in order to accomplish that, we're going to have to pull up this first section of fabric and pull up these posts, and we're gonna go ahead and get new fabric for that one section, this first section, and have it angled the way it needs to be.
All right, so one quick thing before we go to the wrap-up segment of this video is this stuff in the truck behind me. I had a project last week where we did a walkway, and we had some of this stuff left over. Now these are all kind of scrap pieces, flagstone and stuff. I'm not really advertising this to Cass, so it's a really good thing she doesn't watch these videos, but I've got something planned for these guys in the garden that I am super excited about and can't wait to show you guys, but that's gonna be once the garden gets implemented, so probably not for another month or so, but stay tuned. All right, so I got the weed fabric down for the extended strawberry bed.
I'm very excited about that, I'm not gonna lie.
This is like her favorite part of the garden.
Yes.
We're actually sitting beside it. Got the weed cloth down, as you can see. So we got everything done that we were hoping to get done this weekend, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Doesn't happen often.
It doesn't. We were super busy though. Yeah. So as we said at the beginning, we did do a new layout, kind of sketched it out, drew it out. So here it is, we're gonna show you right now. If you see like any of the shaded areas are gonna be the planted areas, and then all of the just plain white areas are walkways and stuff like that. And then we also have the 5 raised beds in there that Cass is really excited about. I wasn't designing it like, oh, I gotta get 5 beds in here. It was just gonna be, let's just see what comes of it, and that's how many it ended up being. So it worked out perfect. So there it is. Super excited about it. And yeah, it's going to extend actually more into the original garden, which isn't shown on that piece of paper. But I just think it's going to create a really nice space. So it's not just going to be a garden space, but like a space where we can come, hopefully want to hang out and just sit, not necessarily do garden chores, but just sit and enjoy it. That's my ultimate goal in it.
Yeah,
so.
I've been doing a little bit of that already this weekend. So
well, good, because it's just barren ground right now.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, all the things, so that you can be notified when we put more content out. Don't forget, our midweek video this week will be kind of on a hot topic-ish. So make sure you don't miss that. Have a great week and be blessed.